Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are working with this sketch for a 100 sketchy videos and follow a sketch February. It does have some mixed media and things, so I got out some silver paint and some really beautiful red glimmer paste from Nuvo. So I have my All-Star stencil from Scrapping Reflections and also this Happiest Place paper packet from Close to My Heart. I am going to change it up and only do 2 photos instead of 3 because this is what I have. So let's see what I can do. Now, when I originally started looking for supplies for this layout, I was looking at my red paints, and then I thought that might look like it's a crime scene all over this page. So I decided instead to get the silver dauber. Now this paint dauber, I really don't usually use my paint daubers as daubers. I usually just pull the paint out of it and paint with it. This time I decided to actually go with the dauber. So I'm not entirely sure why I decided to put the paint so much over the areas that I knew that the photos were going to go over. Like, I knew it was going to be covered up. But for some reason in my head, I was just putting all of the paint there. That's okay. I don't feel like I wasted it. I just feel like I ended up covering it exactly where I needed to cover it. So I am going to add kind of like a second layer over parts of this, and that's just to give it a little bit more depth of the silver color, because when I'm originally putting the paint dauber across the paper, you do see a lot through it. So I wanted to be able to cover that up. Now I do grab my heat tool and I'm going to heat this up. Now I have discovered, I don't know if this is just a happy accident or this was supposed to happen, but the mixed media mat underneath of my paper here actually prevents my pink mat from warping if I put heat over it, which is pretty cool because I didn't know it was heat resistant, and maybe it really isn't heat resistant and it's just a happy accident, but there we go. So I am going to use the All-Star stencil and I am using some glimmer paste from Nuvo. Now my glimmer paste here is actually starting to dry up a little bit. So when glitter glazes and glitter paste and all that kind of good stuff starts to dry up, they get more gelatinous. They're much more, I want to say they're less creamy, and they start to be like a thick toothpaste kind of thing. So that just means that they've been in my stash a while and I have a good amount of them left. If you have as many glitter glazes and pastes as I do, then you realize that you either have to start using it on just about every single layout or it dries up a little bit. Now I've got more than half of it gone out of this jar, so I'm not feeling like I'm wasting it or anything like that. And then again, I am covering up an awful lot of space that is going to be, you're not even going to see it because it's going to be underneath of my photos. And again, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just trying to make something that looked pretty cool over top of the silver paint. So I am going to put a little bit over here on the silver paint down here at the bottom. And I can tell you guys right now, there will be no butterflies on this layout. Just not really my thing. So I put the glitter glaze over top of this as well, and then I'm going to just take my stencil to the kitchen and I'm going to rinse it off with some hot water. Now that works for me. Stencils will eventually get stained, but if you get your glitter glaze off almost immediately, you're not going to have a whole heck of a lot of glitter stuck to your stencil. Now apparently it gets stuck to my face because my daughter looks over at me and she's like, "Mom, what are you doing with that glitter all over your face?" Apparently I was just feeling it, people. I mean, it's glitter, right? Glitter gets everywhere. I prefer not to use a loose glitter. I prefer to use it in a glaze, but it still gets everywhere. Now, these 2 photos, I am going to leave one as a 4x6, and I'm going to trim down one into a 4x4 photo. And I am definitely using that striped piece of paper there because it's striped in the sketch. I totally pulled that off of there. Now I'm just digging through all of the stuff that came in the bundle that I bought from Close to My Heart, and I'm just trying to layer up some things and give me some good and fun little bits. Because I'm not using 3 photos, I'm not going to have as many bits on the page, and that's okay. Make sketches work for you. If you don't have 3 photos, or you don't have 3 photos that you can chop down into smaller sizes, then make them work for you. I definitely wanted the ride to be a full 4x6, but the picture of my daughter and I, that could totally be brought down to a 4x4. So I do kind of a offset mat on this photo as well, and I just tuck it into the ride photo itself. Now I decide that I'm not going to go all the way across the page like it has here on the top of the layout, but just a little bit. And I'm using a black and white polka dotted washi tape, and I'm just going to fold it over because I don't want the full thickness of the washi tape. I just want a smaller bit of it. Now I do pull out some other little bits and pieces from this pile of goodness, and I have this white half circle. Now I really thought it was going to go underneath one of my photos, but honestly it covered up so much more of that glitter glaze on my paper here, and I figured I'd already covered up so much, I didn't want to cover up more. Like, I love glitter glaze. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite mixed medias. And I just decided that there was no sense in covering up more of it if I didn't have to. So I'm going to add little bits and pieces, kind of around what's in the sketch. Now I am more referencing the sketch as to just a general idea, and it's not I'm going to specifically follow every tiny little bit on the sketch. If I did that, I would have a whole heck of a lot more going on the bottom of the layout. My title would be different, like things would just be different. But I like what I came up with. It makes me happy. And that's what matters. Like, as long as your pages are making you happy, then go for it. And honestly, sometimes your pages don't have to elicit that joy from you. Sometimes it just has to be done. And that's the honest truth. So now I have the half circle down here. I've got mixed media all over the place. I just got to figure out what the heck I'm doing next. So I decide to grab another washi tape, and this time in yellow. And I'm going to place a little bit down at the bottom and a little bit more up at the top. Because I do have things in the sketch that go all the way across the page. Even though I am not truly following it, I'm kind of giving a nod to it. I'm like, yep, sketch, I see you, I acknowledge you, I'm doing this for you. Kind of weird to say that, but you know, that's what it is. Now, I was thinking about putting banners over here because there are a couple little banners in the sketch, but I really wasn't feeling it. What I am feeling, though, is this big old rhinestone brad, and I might not put it on the layout yet, but it does make it on the layout. I just love it. I am a fan of the Echo Park brads. I don't know what it is about them. I know some of them are large. Some of them people might be thinking, "Ooh, that's way too big for me," but I enjoy it, and they make me happy, so they go on my layouts. Now, I am going to pop this little banner bit up that says magic, and I am using these rectangle foam squares that my friend Amber got for me. She is my foam square dealer, in case you were wondering. I also have a fun foam dealer, and that is Crystal. You guys need to get yourself some dealers, I'm telling you. They keep you in the fun foam, all in the foamy things. So I am going to add this cloud up here, and I add that cloud specifically because it has the same kind of vintagey type newspaper print that I have on that banner that says magic. I figure I need to do something down here at the bottom Ultimately, I decided to go with the same kind of vintagey newspaper print, but I am messing around and trying out a whole bunch of different ideas just to try to make it work. Now, I ultimately decided I can't have two big old chipboard pieces that say magic. It just feels weird, so I need to change that out and figure out what in the world is going down here in this corner. So I do have all of my Disney papers and embellishments separate from the main stuff I use to scrapbook with, and that's because it is a very themed thing, and I'm not going to use Disney stuff on non-Disney layouts. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. I probably could, like this yellow and white striped paper, this could be for something other than Disney layouts. It would be gorgeous with florals all over it and that kind of thing. But I like having my Disney stuff together. I only keep two themes separate with my scrapbooking stuff. One is Christmas and one is Disney, and I keep those separate just because I do a December project every year since 2015, and also because I love scrapbooking our Disney trips, and it just feels good to have all the Disney stuff together. That's not to say I only use Disney stuff for scrapbooking. If you've been around my channel or Instagram or anything like that, you'll see a lot of Disney layouts that don't use any kind of Disney product whatsoever. So now I have the rhinestone brad up there, up at the top. I'm just figuring out where I should put these other little blue rhinestone. They're not really rhinestones. They're kind of like pearls. These kind of blue pearly brads as well. I do have to say, I kind of regret not buying any of the Echo Park warehouse sale stuff. I've got plenty of Echo Park, but there were a couple things on there I would have liked, but I didn't do it. I don't know what it is. The latest scrappy purchase I've done is ATG tape. I want the things. It's just click and buy is a struggle right now. It's probably because I know I need to order the photos. And really the only photos I have are a bunch of Disney photos and some random everyday stuff. COVID has definitely put a damper on my photography. Not that I can even call it photography. It's like snaps on a phone. So now I'm just trying to find little bits to kind of liven up the page and give it a little bit more fun detail. And I have this puffy heart that is polka dotted, and I also have the chipboard heart in the same kind of motif. So I'm going to make sure both of those get on the page, because why only put on one when you can put on two? Disney pages are definitely a more is more kind of thing. I have this Mickey hand, and I'm going to go ahead and paperclip that onto the photo as well. I just think it's a fun little touch. I'm not really huge on paper clips on layouts, but I like the shaped one in the Mickey hand. I just think it's fun. So I have this little teeny wood veneer piece that says today, and then I'm going to eventually add some letters. And you know, I was thinking today is magic, today was magic, but instead I wrote today has magic. And then just to do something a little bit differently, because most of the time it is today is magic or today was magical or something like that. So something a little bit different, just by changing my verb a little bit. Now I am taking those LE Studio phrases and placing them around the page. They're just fun little phrases, having a blast, happiness, and magic. Love this. Those kind of words that, you know, you just have those emotional feelings when you're at Disney or you're thinking about Disney or you are scrapbooking about Disney. So I'm just going to put those on. And then I also have these black enamel dots from Eyelet Outlet, and I'm going to sprinkle them all around the page. So instead of doing kind of sprinkles or spritzing with a spray mist, which is kind of represented on that sketch, I'm just going to do it with some black enamel dots. I'm going to mix up the sizes and move them around, so it's just sprinkled around the page, and I really like it. I think the pops of black definitely help out in a Disney layout. So there we go. I use those tiny little Teresa Collins letter stickers to spell out the word has. And then that is going to do it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for 100 sketchy videos, and follow a Sketch February. I will see you guys around the internet. Make sure you join the Scrapping Reflections group if you want to get access to all of the sketches and you want a place to post your layouts that you're using the sketches for. It is a fun time over there, guys. Thank you one more time for watching, and I will see you again real soon for another video.